everybody. It is Monday night, and so it's Monday Night Live, and it's always a fun time for me. And lots of people in the chat already. And Teresa is in here. Now, Teresa is a new member because she was having a hard time. Her phone, the phone that she uses, she couldn't get it to have a join button. So she said that she went to one of my members only videos, clicked it, and then it popped up, would you like to join? So I told her that was good to know because other people have told me that they can't figure out how to do the join button. And so I'm totally excited about that. Craig is in. And we were talking about his new solar panels that they put up. And Angie is in. Hi, Angie. KK is here. I don't know if your sisters are with you, but hello. And Healthy Homestead Chick. I saw all those great pictures and videos that you guys did on your vacation. It looks so much fun. So, Shelly, hello. Thanks for being a member. Rebecca is in. The Master Hat Maker. So, hello, Rebecca. And Jake from Nunya, Texas on the back 20. Jake, have you got the rain that everybody else in Texas is getting? It's been crazy videos that I have been seeing. So if you are, I hope everything is well and it's not breaking dams or doing things you don't want it to do. And look who's here. The Bunky girl. Hey, Bunky. How are ya? And Bunky is one of my members, and actually the Vineyard Chicks are one of my members, and that's KK, Trey, and Bunky. If Trey's not in at all, tell her I have a box here that I am mailing to her tomorrow. Actually, I have a box for Lynn, a box for Trey, Steph, Brian, and me, Mike P. I need me, Mike P's address, though. And the Drops Family Garden is in. Hello, how are you tonight? Oh, and there's Trey. Trey, I was just talking about you. You're on my list. I got a box for you because I'm going to the post office tomorrow. Sorry, I was going to mail it on Friday and then I didn't, and so it's going to get mailed tomorrow. I teach Mary on Tuesday and Thursday morning art. See our latest painting that we just did? Just finished? She always finds the pictures, the photos, and she says, can you teach me how to paint that? Well, that was our latest one done. I like it. And I mean, I never sell those ones because I'm not the original artist. Mary just wants to know how to paint them. She's never going to sell them. She's in her 70s. She just wants to know that technique. And so they're totally fun to do. And we have great conversations and laughs, and it is a good time. And everybody's saying hi to everybody. And let me just pop through really fast to make sure I'm not forgetting everybody. Thanks, Shelly. It is a fun painting. I love that old kind of rusty enamel stuff that you find in antique stores and secondhand stores. And I just loved it. And Doug is in here. Hey, Doug. Of course, a member. I think Doug is my oldest member. Not that he is age-wise my oldest member. That he's been one of my members the longest. Let me rephrase that because Doug is younger than me. Shelley says, painting pics stresses me out. I can paint a room now. That is awesome. And Doug and Shelley are talking to each other. Did you guys have a fabulous time? I know you did. And now Brian, one of my other members, he's gone on vacation and he won on my fused glass artwork. And so I sent him a little message. I said, when you get back, you can tell me which one of the fused glasses that you want. And so it's just fun. Mennonite Farmhouse, Leanne, how are you? Leanne is doing a collaboration on soups in September. And so I'm going to do that, and it will be fun. I love soups. In fact, I picked tomatoes, more tomatoes today, tomatoes yesterday, and I'm going to make tomato soup because I love tomato soup with basil in it. I love it that way. I love it with Parmesan cheese in it. And so I'm going to take those tomatoes and I'm going to make some soup, and some of it I'll freeze and some of it we will just eat. And I know Angie loves tomato soup with basil. And it is just yummy as can be, totally yummy. And Alpine Gulch, how are you? Also a member? 99 cents. That's all it costs. If you remember to put a thumbs up, that would be great. Can you guys see the post that I did that starred at the top? I just want to know that, make sure I did that correctly. And so if you can see that in bold on the top of the chat, let me know. And if you can't, I didn't do it right. Well, I have some birthday cards to send out for members. Ann Dale's birthday is this week. Oh, I can't show you her address. Anyway, this is a card to Ann Dale. Ann Dale Homestead. And so I will mail that tomorrow. And then Shannon, who is one of my members, 2 of her children, they have 8 children. They have birthdays at the end of this month. And so I have some birthday cards for them. And I always like to do that. Now we are going to talk about camping. Actually, we're going to talk about camping tonight. But I wanted to show you my finds. On Mondays, I like to go to the secondhand store. And it's called Second on the Avenue because it's on the avenue. Makes sense, right? And so the books are 15 cents. They used to be 10 cents, but now they're 15 cents. But on Mondays, if you're a senior, you get 10% off. So I got the Vitamin Bible. Tells you what vitamins actually do, what they're good for, what type of vitamins. And I got Nutritional Survival Kit. It helps you not get foods that are have a lot of additives in them, and it'll give you recipes, so you don't have to buy a prepackaged. It'll give you the recipe for it. So that was a great 15-cent book. And then I got Recipes for a Small Planet. It's a vegetarian book, but it has great recipes in it. And not that I'm a vegetarian, though I was a vegetarian for a whole year. I didn't eat any meat for a whole year. And it was completely boring after a while. I mean, I love salads and I like lentils and I like all that stuff, but I found it very boring after a while. Guess who's here? That's right, Todd Rainey. And me and Ange love Todd Rainey. Everybody loves Todd Rainey. So, hey Todd, how are you? Charmaine is in here too. Charmaine, I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful day today. And Teresa says, I do not buy a book that says it's a Bible of anything. I don't know. That's just what it's called. It doesn't matter to me. And it just has a lot of stuff about vitamins. And that interests me. So for 15 cents, I bought it. And and the other book that I got, and this one I got for free. At our library, they have a hallway that goes down to some meeting rooms, and they have, there must be 4 bookshelves there. And all the books are free. People just donate them. And this is called Seasons. And it's actually all these little short stories about women that they're agricultural women. They live on farms. They live on ranches. And the things they go through, and it just looked really interesting. So I thought this would be a fun book to read, a few little stories before I go to bed each night. So I was kind of excited about that. Now, tomorrow I am teaching at the library. There's actually 3 of us master gardeners that are teaching. One of them is actually bringing their vermiculture tower in. I have one, but theirs is bigger than mine. And it has worms that eat all of your fruits, vegetable peels, eggshells. You put cardboard in it, you put paper in it, coffee grounds, things like that. They're doing that part. And I do believe I missed. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah, I did. I thought Jeannie had come in and I didn't see her. So, Jeannie, hello. One of the other gals is teaching just regular composting. So we got vermiculture composting. And I am teaching, some people call it tube composting, worm tube composting. You take a PVC pipe, at least 6 inches across. So it's a large PVC pipe. And you drill holes in the bottom half of it. It's usually 3 feet, 3.5 feet long. And you put the part with the holes into your garden. And then you can just put your vegetable scraps, your fruit peels, coffee grounds. Some people will add their first earthworms in there. And some people will just let the earthworms that are in their garden come up. And then you usually have a screen over top of it and then an inverted like flower pot, because you don't want too much rain getting in there, and you don't want flies getting in there or small like mouse to climb up the PVC pipe and go back down in there and eat that, because it's food for your worms. And what happens, it's actually really cool, because out 3 to 4 feet all the way around this PVC pipe, worms will come in. And it's interesting that a worm 3 feet away would know that there's food in that tube. So they just come in and out of those holes that you drilled. Now, if you don't want to buy PVC pipe, you could use, rain gutter. I mean, it wouldn't be quite as thick, but you could still do the holes in it. There's actually a lot of things you can do. Some people even use a 5-gallon bucket, put the holes in there, bury it, use a lid on top so the flies and the stuff don't get in there, and they just dump their compost in there every day. So I'm going to teach about that. And so that should be really fun. But we actually have a topic, a fun topic tonight. Camping. Do you camp? Have you camped? If you camp, do you camp in a tent? Do you make your own tarp? Do you make a shelter? Do you camp in an RV, a camper? How do you camp? Now, I'm going to show you where we are going to go camping. So let me add
We're
that.
on a hike, and it has become my newest favorite secret place to walk. It's got water, it's got herbs, lots of berries, even at this time of the year. So in the springtime, there's probably more. Edibles, a lot of edibles. We saw fish in the stream, the creek, and has a lot of good resources, actually, that if we ever needed to leave our home, I have to say this would be my #1 pick.
And Craig says that they go camping every weekend because they go up to the cabin. It's perfect for them. And the deer come, they feed them. They just added solar. It's a great place for them. So I'm very excited for them. And Angie says, you clamp. Glamour camping. Hello. Okay, King Kathy, how are you? Greetings, Earthling. I got most of my fall garden planted. Yes. And they got their first real rains. I have seen the videos in Texas. Some people are just getting so much rain. It is craziness. And Tina Ladybug is in here. Tina, how are ya? We love Tina Ladybug. So let's talk about camping. Now, I love camping. I have been camping since I've been born. My parents loved to camp. They love to hike. They love to fish. They love to hunt. Well, my dad loved all those things. My mom went along. I'm not sure if she actually loved them, but she was a trooper and she always went along. And so we have been learning all those things my entire life. When the kids were younger, there were times we went camping, we'd go hiking, we'd do lots of stuff. And I think it gave the kids a love for nature, like I have a love for nature. And I've been watching season 9 of Alone. I won't do a spoiler. I'll just say, let's just say I was a little disappointed at the end. That's all I'm going to say about it. Because I know Angie is still watching it. And I thought she was already done, so I already made a comment to her. So I don't want to spoil it. But it was interesting. Now, some people do camp like that all the time. And Nisi's in here. Hey, Nisi, how are ya? It was nice seeing you on Gail's, Gail Southern Living had a live stream because she was at 2,000 subscribers and it was her second year. And so that was so fabulous that happened to her. So, Nisi, it was nice to see you. And I assume probably you finished that pumpkin that you were working on while you were on that live stream. And so I'll have to go over to your channel so I can see that. But always we've either camped in a tent, in a camper, things like that. So it hasn't been so extreme as what you would see in Alone. But it really got me thinking, could I do that? You know? And they are very ingenious. I've watched every season of Alone. It's one of my favorites above all. Oh, is Doug leaving us? Doug, have a good night. And Leanne says, Doug needs his beauty sleep. Doug is a handsome man. He doesn't need his beauty sleep. But Doug, thanks for stopping in. Nisi says, I don't like the way it looked. Oh, did you not like it because it was taller than some pumpkins? Because I've made pumpkins that are tall too. And they're just different. I mean, sometimes we get into that visual idea in our brain that a pumpkin has to be short and squatty. It doesn't have to be. Pumpkins come in all kinds of stuff. I grew up camping, got married, camped all over with our kids. Haven't been camping since I lost him. Oh, is that something you'd like to do again, though? You know, I think sometimes that's hard. You know, when you have all those memories, you know, and you associate camping with your husband, camping with your kids. And then when you're by yourself, that can be more difficult. Jeannie says that, oh, Tony's here. Hey, Tony, how are you? And Jeannie says, haven't camped since the 70s or late 70s, early 80s in the RV. Used to camp on the lake shore and fish. One year went to Lake Powell for 4 days and camped on the shore off the boat. How fun. Seriously fun. And Snow Gardener 307, everything but the budget, because she has 2 channels. Snow Gardener 307, and then everything else without the budgets is this one. And so, hello. And Angie says that we haven't camped since we moved. Why? Too many people. Because she was living in Utah, and now they're moving to North Dakota. She will be able to camp again and use those kayaks. And so that is going to be so exciting for them. Boat camping does sound fun, doesn't it? And see, I think a lot of people love to camp. And I'm sad when I hear people in big cities that have never camped. I think they are missing out on such adventure. Even if you're going to camp in a camper, you're still in the outdoors. It's still, you get to see nature. Like when we go hiking, it's just like something just pours over top of me. And it's like I never want to leave. I mean, seriously, I never want to leave. I just love it. And Trey says we used to camp in our cabin way back in the day before Bunko, before Bunky. I saw pictures with Bunky in the cabin when she was little. And it's just, oh, Tina says that they go camping on a pontoon boat. Camping on a pontoon boat would be fun. I think it would be a blast. You get up, you can jump right off the boat. You could fish off the boat. I think it would be great fun. Nisi wasn't happy. She's making the pumpkin, and she's just, sometimes you just got to rip it apart and start again, And it's just the way it is. Nothing like eating fresh fish with potatoes, eggs, and toast with coffee in the morning. Fresh fish that you're frying. Man, is it good. And you can fry it so many different ways. When we were little, we would, and you'll have to, I can't remember if we did this when you guys were kids too. There was always slate rock, and you could get slate rock that was real thin, by where we camped. And you put that slate rock next to the fire, and it would get really hot. And then you could fry your eggs on it. It was so fun. Houseboat on Lake Powell is funner. Spent a week on one. Oh, I would just so know that is so fun. I know, fresh fish, there is nothing like it. I mean, you can cook it with a stick. You can cook it in a frying pan. You can cook it on a piece of slate. There's just nothing like the taste of it. I mean, seriously. And she says that she can't wait to forage along the reservoir in the river. I bet you there is all kinds of herbs and edibles and berries and just all kinds of stuff. See, I wasn't sure. I was thinking for sure that we had done that, and then how sometimes you question that. Did we do that, or I just, because I know that I did it when I was little. So I'm so glad that we did it. Jeannie says that she's hungry. Todd says that when we used to go camping, we used a tent with a hole in the roof, and we got wet. Well, lots of those old tents, especially they were canvas. And if it was pouring rain and you would touch the side of the tent on the inside, then the water would come through. I don't think they do that anymore. That like we have a subarctic tent, and that doesn't do that. But those are good memories. I tell you. I wouldn't give those up at all. Tina says, last time I camped, me and my mom pitched a tent on a trailer when I was getting chemo treatment. Coyotes sounded really close. Yeah, it can be interesting. There are a lot of sounds in the night, and like those people alone, they got bears coming around. They got raccoons and all kinds of animals. I like it. I do. I think what stories that you will be able to share. Nobody ever actually gets hurt. Not yet anyway, on alone. Oh, Leanne, my first canner load of soup is almost done. Whoo, whoo, whoo. You go, girl. I love canning soup. I have jars of canned soup downstairs, and I just did broth, which I did actually add some chicken in there, but not a lot of chicken. And I pressure canned it for an hour, where broth you can do in about 30 minutes. If you have a whole bunch of stuff for like chicken soup, you have to can a quart, where I live, about an hour and a half, because your elevation changes how long you do it. But I love canning soup. So that's why when Leanne, they told me that she was going to do where lots of people Words. Hello, words. Collaboration. It's just fabulous, you know? And who doesn't like soups? I tell you. Oh, and they want to know what kind of soup you were making. And Dixieland Homestead is here. Everyone, please say hello to Dixieland Homestead. Welcome. Oh, gold panning. I would do it with Uncle Jimmy. That's true. My brother Jimmy, he likes to gold pan. And actually, you know, Joe, when he was younger, worked the gold mine, and so we have gold panning stuff. I even bought him this little sluice thing that the water comes over and it's ridges and the gold sticks in these little parts, and so it's fun to do. There's a lot of people in South Dakota and Wyoming that go to certain parts up in the hills, and the gold still comes down the stream. So they gather them where there might be a waterfall, or I know people that where there's big culverts, and in the springtime, the water rushes through and it literally will take the gold with it because it's moving. And when it gets to the ridges in those culverts, the gold gets stuck. And so a lot of times in the summertime, people bring their 5-gallon bucket and they scoop out all that small rocks and sand. And then in the wintertime, they pan at home. I think it's a brilliant idea. And it's something you can do when you're camping. And it's just fun. Oh, Leanne's answering the question. She made vegetable soup. It's for her video in September. Yesterday, that's why we put the tent on the trailer. Could you get things in your tent? You could. If you were camping in Yellowstone, you might be afraid of bears with good reason. But I have never actually camped in a tent in Yellowstone. And so, you know, it's interesting. And Debbie is here. Cheyenne, Wyoming urban gardener. She finally caught alive. Debbie lives also in Wyoming. She lives basically south of me when you're almost to the border of Colorado. She has a fabulous house. It's very old. And so it's got, I love old houses. The woodwork, the fireplaces, I love them. And then she has great gardens. And so if you haven't checked her out, you should always check her out. Along with everybody that is in here that is a member, they always have that little S afterwards in the circle. And so you know that they are a member. And subarctic tent. It's a great tent to have. And then we have subarctic sleeping bags that keep you way warmer. And if sometimes, you know, if you're camping in September in the hills, it can snow sometimes. It can get cold in the middle of the night. And so they're just things to have. And they are warm and toasty and comfy. Oh, Todd loves gold panning. That is awesome. Now, what other things can you do when you're camping? Well, some of the things we do, I like to forage. And so, like when we were just up, the video that I showed earlier in here, we found gooseberries, raspberries. There was oaks, so there was acorns. There were hawthorns, so there's hawthorn berries. There was all kinds of herbs. There was bergamots. There was I think what was probably a mountain mint. You know, all mints have square stems. So if you find a plant with a square stem, it's in the mint family. Not necessarily mint, but and I found cow parsnips. I bet you we probably found in our walks probably 10, 15 different herbs. And so then I was telling Joe what I could do with those. You know, I can make teas with this. I could do this with that. And so that made it really fun. And since we just watched Alone, Joe and I were going, okay, if we were here and we had to stay here, where would be the best place for a shelter? Say we didn't want to stay in a tent. And so we found different areas where they would be really good for a shelter. And so that was really fun. And in Wyoming, if it's National Forest Service land, you can basically camp any place you want. It doesn't cost you anything. And so in our part of Wyoming, when it becomes deer and elk season, people just bring their campers up there and they park them. You're only supposed to park your camper for 2 weeks without moving it, but I've seen them up there for months. Nobody does anything about it. And so that is always interesting. Debbie says that she's making chicken bone broth right now. Awesome. That's what I do too. I let it cook for over 24 hours always, because it just pulls all that stuff out of the bones and all that nutrients and all that taste and flavor. And it's just fabulous. And sorry, I'm scrolling down. Jeannie says, speaking of food, I do have to fix dinner. See, we got you so hungry, Jeannie. And I hope we have a great dinner. And thank you for stopping by. Good. See, people are saying hi to Dixieland. Awesome. See, there's the best people on YouTube. I tell you, not just channels, people that subscribe to YouTube. Just fabulous. So when we were up hiking, we found what Joe calls a glory hole. It used to be when people were trying to get rich quick, gold mining. A lot of times they would do what they called a glory hole, and they would dig into the side of the mountain, usually 20 to 30 feet, sometimes more, and see what they would find. For some reason in that area, there was either, like, if you find a lot of quartz, usually there's gold someplace by there. And there's other minerals that if you see them, it's more likely that gold is someplace there. And so they would make these glory holes. And by the time they got 30 feet in or so and they hadn't found anything, they usually gave up on that spot and they would look for someplace else. And there was it was blocked off with a fence, and it was a grave site for one of the miners up there. It was on the road that we had taken in. And he was born, I think it was 1842, 43, and he had died in like 1926. And he was a pioneer miner. That's what the sign said. And I thought, how exciting that they were remembering him. And so if this glory hole that we found was his, I don't know. I have to do some research about that. But it was just really interesting. And I was just so amazed at the amount of berries. And we didn't take any of the berries because we didn't need them. And I told Joe, I want to leave these for the squirrels and the chipmunks and the rabbits and the birds. And I just didn't feel like I should take them because, they looked good. The raspberries looked fabulous. And up in the hills, the raspberry leaves are different. Well, not all of them. I have to take that back. Some of them are the same shape as like raspberries you would grow in your garden. But other ones are, the leaves are much larger, and they're just a large leaf wild raspberry. They make fabulous raspberries. By my sister-in-law's house along the road, they just have tons of them. And so it's good to know what you could find. I'm going to turn my other light on. Oh, maybe I won't turn my light on. Oh, there it goes. My hydroponics is turning off, and so it's popping. And there was just so many things to eat there. There were squirrels, and there were chipmunks, and I'm sure there were rabbits. We didn't see them. There's always deer up there. And then we saw some really large tracks. And we really thought they were probably elk tracks because they were much bigger than even a mule deer track. And so we thought, oh, those got to be elk that come come through there too. And so it was just really interesting and fun. And so I want to go back and camp out there, and we'll just take our tent and our sleeping bags and stuff. And you could see where people had camped there before because they had round rocks where they had fires. Right now, you can't do fires in the hills just because of it being dry. So if you're camping, you need to know if it's okay to have a fire or if you have to use a cook stove. So before you go, you need to prepare and so that you know what you need to do. And I am missing all kinds of people when they're talking. So I apologize, and I will go back and I will read all those comments. And Debbie says that they went up to Ten Sleep Lake to camp. Oh, fun place. The last time we just took the tent and a box of some supplies and some fishing poles. We actually caught our own supper. Isn't that perfect? You know, that is camping to me. You know, and bring along some eggs so that you can cook the breakfast on the fire on the camp stove, and it's chilly at night when you get up or chilly in the morning when you get up. It is just fabulous, you know? And, I mean, Joe was really good at like traps, knots, things like that. And so when I was at the library today, I checked out a book on traps because I just wanted to know if I needed, like there are some simple ones that I know how to make. But I thought, I'd like to know more traps. And some of the ideas were so interesting in this book that I checked out. And I thought, this is totally fun. So I am going to build them in my yard. And none of them are like dead drop traps. I'm not really sure what they call it when they have a log or they have a rock. I don't want that kind of thing. Well, what fun would that be? You're smashing the animal. I just want to make sure that I can do those traps easily, efficiently, and fast. And so I'm going to do that. And look who is here. Hog Deer 79. I was listening to his live the other day. And he had Jesse on there. And they were doing mounds, deer mounds. And Jesse was saying about how he drills into the back and he puts a penny so he knows the year that he did it. And so I thought, I am going to do that with all my paintings. I hate putting the date. Like this one right here has my name and it has the date. I don't like the date on there. And I have done it, on the back, but it was just like, that's just not what I want. And when I heard Jesse say about putting that penny in there, every single one of my paintings this year is going to 2022 penny in there. So I go to the bank and it was like, I need some 2022 pennies. And the girl says, well, we don't have any. And so I bought a couple rolls of pennies, hoping to have one in there. No. So I went to a different bank today and I said, I need some 2022 pennies. And I bought a roll. She says, we just don't have them. And it's like, how do you not have 2022 pennies when it is 2022? So if you have a 2022 pennies, I need them. I seriously need them because I have lots of paintings from this year that I would like to do it. And all the other paintings I will do for the rest of the year, I need 2022 pennies. So I just need them. Well, Redbird Farm, how are you, young lady? But I appreciate Cody doing the live. I appreciate Jesse coming up on the live and giving me that idea. It seems to be a hot item. Now, I could get a roll of 2022 pennies on eBay. They want $10 for it. For a 50-cent roll of pennies. I'm not paying it. And so, if any of you guys, oh, Brenda's saying hi to everybody. if any of you guys have a 22 pennies that you wouldn't mind throwing in the mail, I'd appreciate it. I'll send you other pennies back if you want me to. Oh, can you guys hear me? Because Nisi's saying that she can't hear. So let me know in the comments if something is wrong and you guys can't hear me. Hey, H, how are ya? I hope you're having a good night tonight. And sorry, it was a cool idea of Jesse's. I love it. In fact, I have a canvas right around the corner. It's 22 by 28. It's my newest painting that I'm starting this week. And I've had one. I had a 2022 penny. Joe and I went through all kinds of pennies to find it. I used the circular drill bit, so it would make a circle. And I went in a little bit. I put glue in there, I put the penny in. Then I put 2 pennies on top with the clamp so it would dry. It worked perfect. Sometimes as an artist, you just need something different than anybody else does. And even when it's on the backside, it makes me happy. It's just interesting. I'm going to try the penny trick with Dad's grapes for the year they planted. See, this is a fun idea. It's a great way. It's never going to wear off. The penny is going to stay there forever. And I am just liking it. Oh, see, you guys can hear me. So, Nisi, I'm not sure why you can't maybe refresh and maybe it will fix it. And, it's just one of those things. My address. Let me type it in the box. P.O. box. It's always in my description and it's in my about section. But let me just type it real quick. Wyoming, capitalized, 82717. So it is in the comments, and then I can, let me find it in the comments, and then I can put it up here. So that's my P.O. box in Gillette, Wyoming. Thank you so much. Just 2022 pennies. I could go back to the different years, but for right now, I'm just looking for 2022 pennies. It's just crazy. And Tim is here. Hey, Tim, how are ya? And Tim is one of my members. I appreciate all you members that are in tonight. Shamreen says, went camping on our honeymoon, raining cats and dogs at the Oregon coast. Rained so hard, we were in a puddle. Oh, good memories, though. Sometimes it can be miserable weather when you're camping. And those are the camping trips that you remember more. It can be miserable at the time. And she says, I told my husband to pretend we were laying on the ocean beach and the water was coming in. That is so sweet. See, you just got to look at it in the right perspective. And it's just fun. Brenda says that they save their change. I saved my change. And we went through pennies and pennies and pennies. And I thought, how can it be 2022 and there are no 2022 pennies? Seriously. I know that they made millions and millions of pennies so far this year. Somebody's got them. And she says, I'm needing some good vibes. Send them my way. Inspection is tomorrow. Then the house is going up for sale. Angie, you know it. Praying for a perfect inspection and then to sell it right away. And so it's very exciting for them. And remember, when you're coming back through, if you need somebody to unload with you, just stop by my house and pick me up, because I will do that. Some people have said that they are not making them right now, but the mints say they are making them. So I don't know. you know? And see, this is what I've been finding. We had lots of 2021 pennies, and last year they said that they had trouble not minting enough, and they're all over the place now. And if they can sell them all over eBay, all over Amazon, there are pennies out there. I'd love a roll of 2022 pennies, and then I wouldn't have to stress about my paintings. But that's just the way it is. But everybody, I'm going to let you go because I am 15 minutes past my time. I like to keep my lives at an hour. If you happen to find any pennies, I would so appreciate them. I can always send you a penny back. And I hope you have a great week. It looks like it's going to be a great week. Oh, that's right, Cody. I never would have dreamed I would have a hard time. I mean, I've started asking people and they're giving me change at the stores. Do you have any 2022 pennies? And they're looking at me like, what? It was great to see you too. I hope you are having a fabulous time in Wyoming, because Wyoming is one of the best places in the world to live. I may be a little biased, maybe. But everybody have a great night. And I so appreciate you guys. And of course, I'll see you next Monday. And we are going to talk about foraging next week. And I'm going to show you some tricks and some great books on foraging and some great websites that are really helpful on foraging. And so everybody have a fabulous, fabulous night.